Hey Jam Play, how you doing? I'm Mark Brennan. I'm back with another lesson for you. This is the continuing basic electric guitar series of mine. Hope you're enjoying it. We're going to move on to lesson 20. Now in this lesson we're going to take what we learned in lesson 12, which was we worked on the minor pentatonic, we learned the blues scale, and also the extended home plate box. We learned riffs based on that scale. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take those boxes and show you the movability of them, and we're going to take it up into the 12th position, and we're going to work on it in a different position. So grab your guitar, get a little crunch going, and we'll get started. Thanks. Okay, welcome back. Let's get started. Lesson 20, E minor pentatonic. We'll call it E minor blues, in the 12th position. Okay, so you recall in lesson 12 we had the E minor blues down here in the open position. Then the home plate box with the blue notes. Okay, so hopefully you're pretty good with that now. You got it under your fingers and you got some of those riffs going, because we're going to use those same riffs that we used in lesson 12 in this lesson, but up in the 12th position. Okay, so this is a 6-string root. The low E is the root of the scale. Okay, so if we take it up an octave higher, we're at the 12th fret. So we're going to take this box and the home plate box, and we're going to transpose it an octave higher up into the 12th position. Okay, now at this point what I want to do is I want to put a label or a name to this particular box, because in the minor pentatonic system there's 5 separate boxes that you learn as you move along with your study on the minor pentatonic thing. So in different method books I've seen this labeled in a what I think is a logical way, where they're going to call this scale 1E. Okay, now the 1 means the index finger, and the E is where the root of the chord is on the low E string. The root of the scale is, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to call this particular box that we learned down here in the open position 1E, because when we make it movable, the root of the scale is with the first finger, the index finger, 1, on the E string. Okay, that way when you learn the other boxes we'll have different designated names for them, so you can find the root of the scale in the particular position. Okay? Okay, so now instead of playing the open E, we're going to be playing it on the 12th fret with our index finger. So there's going to be new technique issues with your left hand with this scale, because the fingering is going to be completely different. When we were down here, we had a lot of the notes as open string notes, and we were using either our 3rd or 2nd finger. Okay, so now with this box, everything's going to be with the index and either the ring finger or the pinky, whichever you choose to use. Okay, up here, since the frets aren't so wide, you might want to choose to use your ring finger. A lot of times I like to use my pinky. Okay, so either your pinky or your ring finger will be on the 15th fret notes. Okay, so the first entry on the supplemental material, it's the whole blues scale. So you're familiar with the blue note, so we're going to include the blue note on this scale. Okay? Okay, so this is how it goes. There's your root note, it's with the index. And then the next note of the scale is on the 15th fret. Okay, so that corresponds with those two notes, an octave lower. You might want to use your pinky or your ring finger. Okay, so then what would have been the open A is now the 12th fret with our index. There's the blue note, the B. Now the D is on the 12th fret. Okay, there's our root note E on the 14th fret of the 4th string. Okay, proceeding upward, we have the G, the A. Now there's the blue note. Play the blue note with your pinky. It's on 15. There's the B on 12, the D with your ring finger on 15. There's the tonic note, and then the G. Then we'll proceed back down. The tonic E, the D, the B, the A sharp blue note. There's the A, G, the root or tonic note E, the D, B, A sharp blue note. There's the A, then the G, and we're down in our low root E. Okay, so that's it. So the fingering's different, it feels different because there's no open strings. Okay, so let's go through it with some decent rhythm. About here, about 1, 2, 3, 4. Blue note. There's the blue note with pinky. Blue note. I'm going to use my pinky this time here, and okay, so there it is. Let's run through it one more time. A little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter notes. Okay, so there it is. E minor blues. We're calling the box 1E in the 12th position. Okay, so let's take a break. You get that under your fingers, and we'll be back with the home plate box. Thanks. Okay, we're back with E minor blues. Now, in lesson 12, I taught you the home plate box that was like an upper extension to the main box. And you recall that it was here. That included the blue notes. Okay, so now, here's our main box right up in here. So the home plate box butts up right next to it up here. Okay, so it's on your supplemental material as the straight box without the blue notes in the shape of a home plate. Okay, now if we add the blue note to it, it's the A sharp here and then the A sharp up here. Okay, now let's try an exercise where we're going to combine the main box, moving up into the home plate box, and then back down into the main box. And we'll include all the blue notes too. Okay? Now, when you shift from the main box up into the home plate box, I'm going to do the fingering like this. I'm going to go 1, 3, and then I'll shift 1 to the blue note here. And now I'm right in the position where the home plate box is. Okay, so it'll be 1, 3, and then 1, 2. Okay, so let's do the whole thing now. It's on your supplemental material. Shift. Up to that blue note. Now go 2, 1, then shift to 3. Okay. So we moved from the main box, the 1E box, up into the home plate box that butts up right next to it. Shift. Up to the A sharp blue note. Shift back down to 12 position. Okay. Next scene, I'm going to show you what I call the lower extension. Since we're up the neck, we have an additional extension box that butts up below the main box that we get a lot of usable riffs from. So hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I'm Mark Brennan. You're on jamplay.com. We're doing E minor blues in the 12th position. Now, what I'd like to show you is what I refer to as a lower extension box. Now, the low notes of the scale are down here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift down into the 10th position, and that gives us an extra D note. Okay, so I have it presented here in the supplemental material like this. Now I'm going to play the blue note with my pinky there. One more time. So you'll see how this becomes very useful. I can shift into the lower box from the main box and then shift back up into it, kind of like this. With slides and shifts. Kind of like that. Using the blue note. Okay. All right, so let's stop there. You get that under your fingers, and we'll be back with some hammer-on and pull-off exercises. Thanks. Okay, so let's start to learn some riffs. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the riffs that I laid out for you in Lesson 12, and we're going to play them up here in the 12th position. So these riffs you'll be kind of familiar with. Now, we're going to see that we have left-hand fingering issues when dealing with these riffs because, once again, we're not using any open strings. So you're going to see that it's going to take a little bit of practice to get used to the fingering. Okay? Now, we went through the whole scale, note by note. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start doing the slurs, the hammer-ons and pull-offs. So as you recall the first riff, what it did was it took the main box, didn't use any blue notes, and we just ascended with hammer-ons and descended with pull-offs. Okay, now technique-wise it was easier using open strings. Okay, because all we had to do was go open and then hammer a finger or pull off a finger to an open string. Okay, but now since we're up in a higher position, we don't have the use of the open strings. So we need to always use two fingers on every one of these slurs. Okay, so let me talk you through it. With our first hammer-on, we're going to start with our index finger down and attack the note. Now whether you use your pinky or your ring finger, probably might want to try your ring finger since you're probably going to get a better results with the hammer-on with your ring finger since it's a stronger finger. Okay, so it's index planted and then hammer on the ring finger. Now, as I do the hammer, I lift my index and I'm going to place it onto the 5th string for the next hammer movement. Okay, lift index, place it on the D, hammer the E. Again, after I do the hammer, I lift the index. Lift. Lift the index. Okay, so let's try it again. Let's try it in rhythm now. Lift. Lift in place. And again, you want to articulate your hammer-ons good. Okay? You can do it with your pinky too. But you see the action of the index finger. Okay, now descending, we have pull-offs. The action of the index finger is really important. It takes a little bit of time and practice. As we attempt the first pull-off, we have both fingers down because we're going to be slurring down to this note. So we can't have this finger up before we do the slur. So I'm going to put my index down and then I do the pull-off. Now at this point, I set up the new note, the D, and then I need to get my index right down on it. Okay. Now again, we talked about the bumping the adjacent strings in lesson 12. What helps you in this situation is your index can dampen that string. So even if you bump that string, you won't sound that open string note because you're going to be dampening it with your index. Okay. And again, a good pull off, you snap the string. Okay. Now again, I set up both fingers. Set up both fingers. Okay, so when you do it in rhythm, it all has to coordinate itself. See how the index comes down? Okay, so again, you have to get the index down to perform the downward slur, or else you'll just be pulling off to an open string. So there's some coordinated practice that you have to do here with these fingers. As long as I get the index down in time to do the pull-off. Okay? All right, now let's do the whole hammer-on pull-off exercise. Get good hammers. See how the index works? Now leave the index down here. Place it, pull, pull. Okay. A little faster. Articulate those slurs. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll take a break here and then we'll get on with more riffs for you. Thanks. Okay, we're back with more riffs. Now let's learn some nice little riffs you can work on to include your hammer-ons and pull-offs, and we'll get the blue notes going and we'll shift into the different boxes. We'll shift from the lower extension and then up into the upper extension. Okay, so this first riff I have laid out here, again, it was laid out in lesson 12, but now it's an octave higher and playing it in the 12th position, and the fingering's different, okay? So you remember how the riff went. You start with a hammer, and then you use the blue note here with a pull-off. Okay. The picking, I go down, up, down, pull, down. Okay. Down, hammer, up, down, pull, down. Proceeding on. Now we're going to throw in the blue note there. Okay, that's the ascending part of the riff. Then we're going to reverse the order. Let's see. Okay, I used the blue note on that one. descending again. Pull, then a hammer. Pull, hammer, blue note. Okay. Let's give it a shot at a little faster tempo. Descend. Blue note. Okay, so again, the action of the index is critical with all these slurs. Got to make sure you have your index down when you do the pull-offs. And then you have to get it down for this hammer. See? Place it before this pull-off. Get it down. Got to switch strings. Place it for the pull. Now you got to get both of these down. Try it again. Okay, so try that one out. That'll be fun. Now let's do a riff with using the home plate box, the upper extension home plate box. Okay, so we're going to start off with a 17 to 15 pull-off. We start with both fingers down. Kind of the same deal. Pull, hammer. Okay. We're going to use the blue note there. Okay, so that's a good example of using the home plate box. Okay, now here's a riff that will involve the lower extension and the home plate box. So there's going to be some shifting involved here. Okay, we're going to have a shift right down in here, and then we're going to have a shift up here to the home plate box. Okay, so here's how this one goes. Now we're going to start in the 10th position on the home plate or the lower extension box. That's how it starts. Okay. Now we're going to shift with that pull off. So we have two pull offs in a row there. Got to leave the index down here, then shift both fingers for the pull off. We'll throw in the blue note there. And then we're going to shift up to the home plate box. And like that. Shift. 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 Okay. Now once you get it down, you can increase the tempo of it. Okay, so with the hammers and the pulls, it's not really difficult to increase your tempo like that. Okay, so we'll take a break here, and then we'll come back and we'll try out some riffs using the slide. Okay, we're back with more riffs. Recall in lesson 12 we talked about sliding from one note to the other, sliding into a note. Okay, so these are riffs that we looked at it in lesson 12, but now they're going to be an octave higher, of course. The first riff, I'm going to utilize that lower extension. Now, that first note I'm going to slide into. It's really cool a lot of times to slide into a note, and it's kind of an indeterminate amount of frets that you use. I would say for starters, try doing a 2-fret slide. Okay, so you don't want to go You know, you don't want to attack the note here. You want to do a quick slide into a note. And then, of course, I'm vibratoing it. Okay, so the riff is like this. Now I'm going to do a 13/14 slide utilizing the blue note. Then I'm going to give that little quarter note tweak that we talked about, quarter step tweak. And then work on your vibrato, okay? See that I'm oscillating the string back and forth evenly. That's the key. And don't pull the string out of tune like this. Okay. You always want to come back to in tune. And you find an oscillation that sounds good for you. And a speed, not too fast. Sounds a little quavery. Too slow, obviously that doesn't work. So it's like just a nice little shake of the note. Okay, so again, slide into 12, 10, 12. Now do the slide here with your third finger. Quarter step bend, vibrato. Kind of like the vibrato that first note too. Okay, now if we transpose that up an octave, we'll be using the home plate box. So same thing, slide into the E. Now do this slide 15 to 16 with your middle finger. Same thing with the quarter step and vibrato. Okay, so same riff, an octave apart. Okay, now you remember this riff from lesson 12. It's really going to finger the same since we're using the home plate box with no open strings. And we're going to slide from the blue note down to the A. Okay, you can put a quarter step tweak on the G here, and then vibrato the E. Notice I have a pull-off and a hammer on there. Slide. Okay, now I threw in one more riff here for you. This kind of demonstrates how it's really cool to slide from one position to the next, and you can get these nice wide-ranging riffs that go up the neck. So this one goes like this. We're going to start down in that lower extension. We'll do that slide into 12, and then slide into 14 to the G on the 12th fret. Tweak it. Then I have a combination pull-off hammer. It's kind of cool. Uses the blue note. Okay. Then this part of the riff. Now I'm going to slide into the home plate box. Finish it off like that. One more time. So you see how you're sliding from position to position. Okay, so we'll take a break here. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to play a scene where I do a little bit of a jam, which is the same jam I did in the intro scene. So what you can do is you can practice soloing and improvising a little bit with these riffs around a little 12-bar blues jam for you. Okay, so we'll be right back with that. We're back with E minor blues. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to record here a little jam track for you. I think what I'll do is I'll do it 4 times for you, and it will give you an opportunity to practice your improvising. Okay? And it goes something like this. Okay, we're back. I'm Mark Brennan. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Again, you're going to have to get used to the new technique with your left hand, playing that minor blues in a different position up the neck. Again, do the riff slowly, be patient, and with a little bit of practice, you'll get them. And again, hopefully that jam track will be beneficial to you. You can try jamming around with it with your E minor pentatonic. Use both positions. Use the box down in the open position, and then the one up in the 12th fret too. And then we'll look ahead to lesson 21 here. What we're going to do is we're going to transpose it to the 5th position, and it'll be A minor blues in the 5th position. So we'll be back with lesson 21, and in the meantime, keep practicing, have fun, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.